today, yes, we are in week 5 for the NFL. Last week, teams did horrible that I picked. Well, they didn't do so horrible. It was a pretty even match for most games. So it was a big struggle with every game. It seemed to be even across the board. But I don't want to share my record. I know y'all already saw it, and it's heartbreaking. So the thing is that this week I plan to do better by digging more into the weeds on why and stuff like that and where I could go right. So I expect to bring out a lot more wins this week. So this week, the Cardinals played, and of course I guessed it right. They won. I actually bet on them when they were down in the chips. I realized I was talking on the phone with one of my nephews, and I didn't realize that the game was, on, and I didn't make my pick, so I had to hurry up and make my picks, and I realized that, oh man, they were already playing. So if you don't want to count this game, it's on you. Me, I'm going to count it because I did it, even though it was after the kickoff, and they were down, I knew they were going to win, and that's when they made it and started coming back and going back up. So anyways, the Cardinals won. I claimed that victory as mine because I chose to win. Winning team. But anyways, if you don't want to count it for me, then fine. I'll just take 1 point off of the thing. But I'm going to make a lot more points this week. So, just you wait. The next game is going to be the Texans versus the Vikings. Now, I'm going to change it up a little bit this week and not only go by the battle of the belly acres, okay? Yeah, I'll have a little bit of that too, but I'm going to add in who's home team and who's not, all right? And the reason why I think the best team is going to, take the lead. So for the Texans, they have 2 people out on injury and 2 people who are belly achers on their team. Now, last week they won at a home game by 7 points. All right. This time they're visiting. They're visiting the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings going to be a home team. And last time they were at home, they won by 14 points. All right. They have 3 people out on the Vikings, and they only got 2 with a mild limp. Okay. I wouldn't even consider them belly aching too much. All right. They still kind of got that limp. So I say the Vikings going to win anyway. And besides, I think they're a really strong team. If it was between the Vikings, like I said before, the Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals to be, my trader team, because I just traded kind of off of the Broncos. I'm bandwagon Broncos last year. They stuck on my house, okay, and now I'm trying to bandwagon the Cincinnati. If the Vikings keep doing this, I'll probably bandwagon them next year. So if they just keep going and keep running and gunning hard. But I think the Cincinnati Bengals should take the Super Bowl this year. And that's what I'm thinking, hoping for, because I'm starting to paint and bandwagon them. All right? If not, the Broncos, and then I'll go for the Vikings. All right, moving on to the next game. The Bears, they won a home game by 3 points. And the Colts, they lost a game by 3 points visiting, okay? So Bears were home last week. Colts were visiting last week, somebody. Now, this week, it's flip-flop. The Bears will be visiting at the Colts, and the Colts will be playing the home game. I think the Colts are going to win. The Bears got 1 person out, 4 people limping, and 13 people belly aching and griping. Oh, I don't want to play this game. We're not going to be at home. Get over it. The Colts, they only got, They only got 2 people out and 5 belly achers, compared to the 13 for the Bears. Makes no sense, but hey, the Colts, being that they're playing at a home game, they've got the home team rooting for them, and I know that the home team actually comes out to cheer. Then I know it's going to be harder for the Bears anyway. And besides, the Bears is an easy team to beat. Last week, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they must have been hurting really bad to lose to the Bears. The Colts, they played hard. They played very hard last week. So I'm giving it to the Colts, even though they lost and let me down last week. We're going to try them again. You better go. Go, Colts, go. Moving on to the Jets and the Steelers. The Jets lost a home game by 10 points. And the Steelers won a home game by a blowout. All right. Now, this week, the Jets are going to be visiting, and the Steelers are still going to be playing at home. So, it's the terrible towels going to really take this one home. For the Battle of the Bellyache part, the Jets, they've got 4 out, 2, limping around the stadium, and 1 belly aching. And the Steelers, they have 9 people out. They didn't even want to practice, it seems like. I don't understand what the Steelers was up to. I guess they just wanted to celebrate that big old blowout and just like lay on the grass during practice or something. I'm not even sure why. But that's what it looks like. Yeah, the Jets, I don't know what's wrong with them. It seems like their defense is not really paying attention. So they got a long way to go. They got to push really hard to try to make this game. But the Steelers got it pretty much hands down when it comes to that. Just expect, hopefully it'll be another blowout because I'm going for the Steelers. So to make a rundown, just to make sure you know, I'm doing the Vikings, the Colts, and the Steelers so far, right? Moving on to the Titans. Now the Titans, they lost at a visiting game, okay? They went to visit and they lost by 7 points, okay? They also going to be visiting this game as well. And they played pretty hard last week. They were hustling and bustling and trying to move the ball, and the other team just kind of outshined them. They tried to throw, and they tried to get at least a tie score during the last rush, and it just didn't happen for them. And of course, the defense picked it up and actually stopped them. They didn't slack off. The Dolphins, they also lost a visiting game too, but by 15 points. All right. This time they'll have a home game coming. All right. They'll have a home game, and for the Battle of the Bellyachers, the Titans have 3 people out and 1 bellyacher. All right. The Dolphins have 3 people out, 1 person limping around the stadium, and 4 bellyachers. All right. I'm definitely not going with the Dolphins. Okay, they barely beat the daggone Browns. Okay, in week 3. So how am I going to actually think that the Dolphins are going to really take this away from the Titans when the Titans gave so much of a hustle last week? Moving on to the Eagles. The Eagles, they were a bye last week, so it's going to be hard to judge them, okay? They'll be well rested. I'll guarantee you that. And right now they're 3-0. So they're looking pretty good, and the quarterback's doing really well. So I got to give it to them. They only got 1 bellyacher on the team. For the Lions, they lost the visiting game by 3 points. Now, this time they'll be playing home, and the Eagles will be visiting. That doesn't quite mean that they won't get slammed. They're not looking pretty good in their standing so far, so another loss probably won't hurt them. They've got 3 people out sitting on the bench, 1 person limping around the stadium, probably trying to corral the crowd to maybe shout louder, maybe do something. But they got 3 bellyachers on the team who's probably just, moping around trying to get out of the game or somehow. But they might play. They should play. They just don't want to play. But the Eagles probably will get it. Everybody's looking pretty good, pretty healthy on the team, so I'm going for the Eagles. Moving to the Patriots and the Browns. The Patriots and the Browns both lost, okay? Patriots were playing home. Browns were playing as visitors to another team's stadium. Now, the Patriots lost by 16 as opposed to the Browns losing by 11. So right now, you might think that it's pretty even matched, okay? And this time it's flip-flop, where the Patriots will be visiting and the Browns is going to be at home. But what you don't see is the bellyacher part. Now, with the bellyaching part is that the Patriots have 4 people out and 9 who are bellyaching. And the Browns have 6 people out and 3 people bellyaching. But behind the lines, behind the scenes, what you don't quite see is that the Browns kind of lost their quarterback and because of injury. He's an out guy. And the Patriots finally got Tom Brady back because his suspension is up. So they're probably all stoked, and they're going to be trying to win, and they're going to probably try to do a blowout on this game because they're playing the Browns. If they let the Browns score a touchdown, just think that's going to be a heartbreak. But if they do let them score, they need to be in the high 30s or in the 40s, okay? If they really want to make their name for the next couple of weeks, all right? So that's how I see it. The Patriots are going to win this game. If they don't, oh man, they must be hurting real bad. And I lose that one. So I'm going for the Patriots. Redskins versus the Ravens. Last week, the Redskins won at a home game, and the Ravens lost at a home game. Now, the Redskins won by 11. The Ravens lost by 1. In this matchup, the Ravens are going to be at home, and obviously the Redskins will be visited. For the Battle of the Bellyacres, it's going to be 4 people out on the Redskins side and 2 Bellyacres. Ravens has got 1 person limping and 3 Bellyacres. The Redskins, they lost to the Browns last week. And the Ravens, last week, they were playing pretty hard. So, I'm going with the Ravens. Moving on to the Falcons and the Broncos. The Broncos is posted all over the front and the back of my house, so I'm going for the Broncos. That's kind of the general trend, unless they go up against somebody who I really think that they're probably going to lose, so I can see if I can steal a win, and I'll trade off of them, because right now they're not the front lead team that I'm bandwagoning, but I'm pretty sure I'm bandwagoning them as well. So, go Broncos. But to give you the stats on the games is that both of the teams won last week, okay? The Falcons won at home, and the Broncos won visiting. And they blew them out visiting, all right? This time, the Falcons will be visiting at the Broncos Stadium. Now, for the Bellyacre parts, they don't have any Bellyacres on the Falcons. They just got 3 people out. The Broncos have got 4 people bellyaching and 2 people out. The Falcons, although last time they were impressive, okay? Yeah, they were really doing the thing. But also, the Broncos blew out their game as well. They just blew them out, all right? This will be a game to see. It really will be. But you will see the Broncos win. Moving on to the Bengals and the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they've been doing pretty good for themselves. The quarterback, Prescott, he's been doing really well, and I'm actually impressed. They've won a visiting game that I thought that they were going to lose by 7 points. Now, the Bengals, they won a home game by 15 points. This time, they'll be visiting the Cowboy Stadium, and the Cowboys are going to be going wild. I think the Bengals can push through most of that yelling and rooting and hooting and hollering, okay? For the Bellyacre part, the Bengals only got 1 person out. 1 limping around. Probably is going to be, limping to the bench and getting water and probably giving the other guys some Gatorade. But they got 3 Bellyacres. Now, with the Cowboys, you see them, they'll have 2 people out and 9 Bellyacres. These guys, I don't think they really want to play the Bengals. They don't want to lose. They don't want to, have that on their hearts. They'll be like, oh, please, be easy on us. But the Bengals are going to take it, and they're going to actually be real tough, obviously. Thing is that the Bengals don't want to lose. They want to win. Win, Bengals. You're on my house. Go. I'm bandwagoning you. Moving on to the Chargers and the Raiders. The Raiders won the visiting game, and the Chargers lost the home game. Each by 1 point. All right? Each by 1 point. 1 win, 1 loss. By 1 point. Now, when it comes to the Battle of the Bellyacres, both of them are even matched. There's 3 people out on both sides, and there's 5 Bellyacres on both sides. All right? So who's on the home team this time? The home team, the home game right now is the Raiders. The Raiders got the home court advantage, and the Chargers, they'll be visiting. So I think it'll be a really good match. I think it'll be a really, really good match. So I'm going to have to root for the people who have the home team advantage. Go home team, go Raiders, okay? I'll say Raiders this time. Moving on to the Bills. The Bills and the Rams. I'm not going for the Bills. I'll go for the Rams. I'll tell you why. The Rams got the home court advantage, home team advantage. They actually won last week's game by 4 points when they were visiting. Pretty impressive. Now, the Bills also won last week visiting by 16 points. You might think that they'll play harder. But what you won't find out is that they've got 5 people out on the Bills and 7 bellyachers. When the Rams don't have nobody out, they've got 6 bellyachers, okay? Now, although I don't think Rams is a really good team, and Brianna's husband's got that posted on the back of their vehicle, I'll give it to them this week. Go ahead, Centaurus. You better take your victory, relish in it. I'll side with you this week, all right? Go Rams, win. So let's talk about the Giants versus the Packers. The Packers has got the home team advantage right now, and they had a bye last week, so all of them are very well rested. The Giants didn't rest last week, and they lost a visiting game by 14 points. So now they're visiting again somebody else. What? At the Green Bay Stadium. They've got like 4 people who are out on the team and 3 bellyachers. Now, with the Packers, the Cheeseheads, they've got 2 people out and 1 bellyacher. The Cheeseheads is crazy enough and loud enough to actually win this victory over the Giants. So, the Giants, sorry, you're going to be low on the division this time in this part of the year, at least, and you're not going to climb it very high, not right now. So, the Packers, Cheeseheads, go, you win it. And for the last game, we're going to talk about the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Now, the Buccaneers lost by a blowout at their home game, all right? This time they'll be visiting. Kind of a change, okay? So now their home team, people in the crowd won't be throwing cans at them, and whooping their butts, telling them to get up and start doing something. But the Panthers are pretty angry too, and they're angry within themselves, okay, for having so many losses so soon. What, they lost 2 games so far now? Maybe more? I don't know. I don't think so. Right now, the Panthers, they don't ever seem to get shut out, okay? They've never had a 0 on their stuff. Cam Newton's pretty upset. I know he was out with a concussion during the last game, wasn't able to, pick it up for him. But he was out there, nobody really practiced for the Panthers. They probably just, beating themselves up internally. So I think this time they'll come out and they'll be so angry. They'll get that hometown advantage. Last time they lost by 15 at a visiting stadium. They were trying to beat somebody, but they still made like 30-something points. I think that they are going to still have a higher margin of score, and they're going to beat the Buccaneers when it comes to that. I choose the Panthers. That's how I see it on Monday. Let's do it. Who are your picks? You let me know. All right? So those are my picks. We'll see what happens. Until next week, adios.